toys as bagcharms, skincare brands selling eggs, TV sets in the middle of Grand Central, cafes with designer logos, tomato air balloons, more cinematic marketing. These are some of the business and marketing trends we've seen so far. I will be discussing everything, so let's get into it. The food trend continues this year. So this has been present during the past years, but I think now we're seeing its full effect. I've been seeing more brands using food imagery to promote their products, also releasing products associated with food or of a certain flavor. So some examples of these, loewe and tomatoes. This was started actually by a meme, which is really funny. Its latest marketing campaign, it's all about tomatoes, releasing products like the tomato clutch, a tomato bucket hat, keychains. Its stores also decorated with huge heirloom tomatoes in different hues, and more recently its latest campaign, which consisted of a huge tomato air balloon in Turkey. This year they also done activations like a gelato pop-up and a collaboration with wellness bar Teas with the special drinks like hibiscus matcha and a cherry smoothie. So loewe normally alludes to food. This isn't new to the brand. A few years ago the brand released its home scents collection, which includes candles, room sprays, and soaps. This collection is wholly inspired by vegetables and herbs. Remember the viral TikTok tomato candle? So this candle is by loewe. Another brand is Glossier. Glossier did some pop-ups for the release of the black cherry balm and also released an espresso balm and did a whole campaign inspired by coffee, and recently they just released a banana pudding lip balm. The skincare brand The Ordinary did its Ordinarily Priced Eggs campaign selling eggs for $3, and this was as a response to a bird flu outbreak at the beginning of the year, which led to an egg shortage, causing prices to rise to as much as $12 for a dozen eggs. And I want to talk a little more about this campaign. So in an industry where products are mostly overpriced, The Ordinary is usually known for its fair price products by keeping minimal branding, formulas, and low production costs. So this stunt reflected the brand ethos. The campaign was perfect because it reflected what the brand is all about, what the brand is known for, offering products like hyaluronic acid and niacinamide serums for under $10. Another brand that incorporated food into its campaign, jacquemus. Jacquemus' store opening in LA was all about bananas. So everything in this campaign for this store opening was inspired by the color yellow, which I thought fitted perfectly with the yellow butter trend we're seeing right now. The opening included a jacquemus market where stands offered bananas, flower bouquets of yellow flowers, banana ice cream, and even taking a ride on a giant banana car. And that same yellow theme was carried inside its store with soft yellow interiors and bright yellow sofas. So the brand also did a whole banana themed campaign with White Lotus star John Grice titled Going Bananas for John. And if you're interested in this, you can watch this video where I reference other ways jacquemus has incorporated food into its marketing. And that is all about jacquemus marketing. Tory Burch did a collab with Swedish candy store Bon Bon. They released bags and sandals in colors like banana marshmallow, cotton candy, sugared apple, and even charms shaped like the candy from the store. And more brands are partnering with trendy cafes and restaurants for collabs, events, and pop-ups. So in 2025, we've been seeing more and more of this intersection, foods and brands. Which leads me to talk about another trend I've seen more and more this year. Brands and cafes. The trends of brands offering cafe experiences. Brands like Prada, Gucci, Tiffany, etc. My prediction is that the next step is for brands to actually incorporate hospitality into their shopping experience. So more of an integrated experience and not separate inside the store. Some examples of these, just to name a few, the Amy Leon Dore Cafe, Ralph's Coffee, Aritzia Ayok Cafe, and Nanushka is also another brand, has been recently opening cafes inside their London and Budapest stores. So I also remember visiting this place in Madrid where the top floor is an art gallery and the bottom floor it's a matcha place, like a really trendy matcha place. I thought it was really interesting. My prediction is that this will become more and more common in the future. And I think that not necessarily associated with luxury brands. Why is this happening? Some possible explanations for this trend. I think that this is a way to reward customers and just to offer a better shopping experience. So for example, in Aritzia, where you get a token for a matcha or a coffee every time you buy something. This is another revenue stream for brands. Due to the slowdown, brands are naturally looking for this, and if people are not making big purchases, they can at least rely on these smaller luxuries, the so-called little treat culture. And lastly, I think brands are shifting its focus to offering experiences, incorporating more of the lifestyle element into the brands, as well as creating a third place. And all of this brings the question, are brands trying to create the so-called third place? This place newer generations like Gen Z have been desperately seeking and searching for. Well, I think all of these elements go hand in hand. This is just a way to expand the brand universe. So another trend I've been seeing is brands sharing their production process on social media, the making of. So I think this trend was definitely started by Loewe. In fact, some of the first videos I started seeing of Loewe that really caught my eye on my For You page on TikTok about the production process of their iconic puzzle bag. And Loewe has always been a brand known for its high level of craftsmanship, so this felt very intentional. These videos are almost like ASMR. This was the perfect way of showing what the brand is all about in a very entertaining and engaging way that actually people are interested in watching. And I remember completely falling in love with this. So naturally, more and more luxury and high-end brands like Jacquemus, Burberry, Prada, and Gucci have been jumping into this trend. And in these videos, you can see how each piece is crafted with such precision, attention to detail, and care that it gives you a sense that the quality might justify the price. So by showing the production process, the pieces feel really valuable. So as I said, like Loewe, this works especially for brands that have a high level of craftsmanship, of artisanry, and skill. And Bottega just recently made a campaign where its main character are hands, titled Craft is Our Language, to celebrate 50 years of the creation of its signature intrecciato leather weave. This campaign features both hands of celebrity and Bottega artisans. So the center theme around the campaign are hands. Hands as a form of expression and as a symbol of the craftsmanship the brand is known for. It is meant to highlight the handcraft behind products. And I thought it was very clever. In some images, you can even see hands intertwining and mirroring the intrecciato weaving, which I loved. So 2025 marketing is all about creating immersive experiences more than ever. Brands are offering more and more world building every day. Just as I mentioned with the cafes and just brands expanding their brand universe. So this is happening because we're currently living in the age era of fantasy and a spectacle. We're craving places where we can escape to. We're craving experiences more than ever. Actually, Book Business released an article that talks more about this. And if you have the time, definitely check it out. It's really interesting. For example, the pop-up Severance did to promote the second season of the show. Lumen's offices were recreated inside a glass box where the actual actors from the show interact just as they would in a normal episode, right in the middle of Grand Central Station in New York City. So a very immersive experience. And some other recent examples of this, the bookstore from You, which was featured mainly in its first season, was recreated to promote the final season. It was like a pop-up, and I've been seeing more shows try to recreate these immersive experiences for the fans. Another thing I noticed that goes along the same lines are brands joining the conversation by doing marketing inspired by relevant shows in our culture, actually connecting with current cultural trends. We saw a lot of campaigns with the cast of The White Lotus, as well as brands like IKEA and Duolingo referencing multiple times again Severance in their publicity. So brands are taking advantage of these shows, actually engaging in the current conversation. So this is a very smart way of creating content. It is definitely more memorable. It stays longer with you. It is also more shareable. Really makes you want to interact with it. Like and comment. And all of this also creates the perfect opportunity for brands to blend in reality and fiction, and as I said before, offer a more immersive experience. So another notable trend from this year, just as like the other things that I talked about earlier, this has been shaping for some time. Toys like labubus, sunny angels, jellycats are going viral. I will try to not go super deep on this because there's another thing that I want to talk about, which is directly linked to this. So labubus have been trending since mid 2024. There's a whole psychological aspect to this. Collecting brings comfort, and people argue that it is a way of channeling or healing your inner child. There's something nostalgic and playful. They evoke childhood nostalgia, reconnecting with childhood, a way to cope with adult life. But why? In uncertain times, they provide a form of distraction from the everyday. They provide escapism, desire for nostalgia, and a simpler time. When the world becomes so unpredictable, people seek comfort into what is familiar. The blind box element plays a very important role to that success. So it offers the unboxing experience, and as I mentioned earlier, we're currently living in the experience economy. We are literally craving experience. Sales of blind box products are up more than 7,000% year over year. So this compared to last year. They also offer personalization without the need to actually invest in a luxury item. So for example, labubu is being used as bagcharms. Labubu is in some ways a modern day example of the lipstick effect, which brings me to more small luxuries. As prices of popular luxury items like handbags and shoes continues to rise, people are engaging and embracing more the so-called small luxuries as a way to stay connected with their favorite brands. Things like perfume, makeup, sunglasses, belts, and bagcharms have also experienced a sales boom. So they've been relying more on these smaller luxuries and actually incorporating them into their strategy. Loewe recently released a new bagcharm collection, and I believe Bottega too. The fragrance boom. Like bagcharms, fragrances have become an alternative to the classic lipstick effect. More and more brands are introducing fragrance to their product lines. Fragrances allow luxury brands to offer a product that is both aspirational and at the same time accessible. Fragrances, which are known to be aspirational purchases, are crucial to the growth of luxury brands. So earlier this year, jacquemus announced its partnership with L'Oreal, in which L'Oreal acquired a minority stake in the company specifically for jacquemus beauty line division. So this strategy, as I mentioned, is used as a strategy by luxury brands to fight this slowdown, and small luxuries are really important as they offer a way to maintain this connection to luxury, as well as to raise brand awareness among younger consumers like Gen Z, which engage in smaller purchases and hopefully convert them into bigger spenders over time. However, some question the longevity of this strategy. It might work short term, but brands cannot rely on it forever. Luxury consumers want to feel special, and the reputation and the overall desirability for the brand might be at risk. And finally, other trends worth mentioning, in my opinion, I've been seeing a lot of brands doing photo booths and newsstands lately. So for example, Rode, Summer Fridays, Gucci, Prada, and many more. Brands want people to take something with them that actually reminds them of the brand. So like a souvenir or memorabilia. They want to make a long-lasting impression, something that stands the pass of time, and this is a perfect way of doing it. This is in a similar fashion to the whole toys and collectibles trend. The nostalgia factor comes into play, just something that is collectible, or that at least feels collectible. Also, TV and film style marketing. This is another trend I've been seeing brands doing, using formats inspired by TV and film. More cinematic marketing. Creating a story that entertains people and that allows the world building. Relying more on storytelling. Just last month, jacquemus did a fashion film to announce its Monte Carlo Club, which is a summer pop-up. I've also seen more brands doing TV style series, so this is a trend that was actually started by a collab between Lake Checkout and the Ritz-Carlton to promote a merch drop. So if you'd like to delve deeper into this topic, I will highly suggest you to watch this video by Ormit's World titled Brands Are TV. I will link it down, which he goes into more practical examples and ways in which you can apply this into a marketing campaign. And finally, the oversized trend. So I was thinking about this, and I don't know if Glossier started or was one of the first brands to jump onto this trend, but now I see everyone doing it, and I guess at the beginning it was really exciting. At this point, I think it feels overdone. So it might offer this shock value factor. So yeah, I think it's shareable content, but I don't think it offers more than that. And if this video resonated with you at all, I think that we can agree that we are living in times in which we are just craving a deeper emotional connection. That's why all the immersive experiences, that's why all the branded cafes and the universe building. Brands relying more on storytelling, it is all part of that. So that's it for today. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you have a favorite one? Did I miss something? Do you have any predictions for the rest of the year, for the second half of the year? And as always, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever you like. I hope to see you very soon with another video. Bye. Thanks for watching.